Nita, your favorite diva, and I'm back. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Let the diva know you stopped by. Make sure you subscribe if you like the vibe. If this is your first time here, welcome and welcome back, Diva Squad. So I give it 3 out of 5 stars. It knew what it was, and it delivered just that. I'm doing a trailer reaction. And on Nita the Diva's channel. What's up, you guys? It is your girl Nita, your favorite diva, and I am back with my girl Monique Johnson. I'm gonna leave the 69 off.
Yeah, for this one.
I'm gonna leave the 69 off for this one, but you see it in her little logo, whatever. But
Yes.
Monique is here, not Monique Nicole, Monique Johnson. So we got Monique here, and she's here to break down Shogun, the most epic show I've seen since Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon.
Yes.
We are I couldn't give it up. I said we have to cover this. I didn't know if I was gonna be covering it by myself. Monique volunteered, and so I'm so glad she is here. Monique, how do you feel about Shogun as a whole? Did it blow your socks away? What is going on?
Okay, when I first got into it, I'm like, oh Lord, I gotta read. But it's not all in Japanese or their language. It's also English in it as well. So it's like a back and forth. So that's the good thing about it. Absolutely. And I'm enjoying it and see like, okay, what's this about? And who's trying to kill who?
Yes. And there are a lot of moving pieces in this. So I wanted to bring it to you condensed, but I'm sorry, the story is so complex. We kind of really have to break it down.
Yes, it's a lot of puzzle. It's a lot of pieces, like chess pieces, to make one story.
Yes, absolutely. And as we say that, let me go ahead and put on the chessboard right here what we're dealing with. We are dealing with this big feudal Japan landscape where we have there was somebody was a former Torada. He was the former military
Toranaga.
No. I didn't get to Toranaga yet. I'm at the top.
Oh, you're at the top.
Yeah. Kuroda.
Oh, Kuroda, the one who passed.
And he was just a military person who united the country. Because of course, when people are developing countries,
yes,
there's a lot of strife. People are trying to get territory and stuff like that. So he was the one that united the country of Japan. Then under him, he was succeeded by the Taiko, and he is now deceased. And this story kind of forms around his passing and what he's laid down. And we're getting ready to see the Council of the 5 Regents. And so Taiko is deceased. We didn't get to it yet, but we will flesh it out in episode 2.
Yes.
Because the way the show decided to do it, they wanted to play episode 1 first. So we'll get to the Taiko in episode 2. We'll talk about that. And he did this Council of Regents, which included Toranaga, Ishido, Ono, Kiyama, and Sugiyama. Child, please bear with us with these damn names. Forgive us if we pronounce it wrong or whatever. Y'all know what we talking about, okay? Right. So Mariko is a very important character. She seems to be one of the most revered characters. Like her name and her presence holds weight in this show. And you see, because it goes all the way back up to the first person on the pyramid, the former military ruler of Japan who united the country. So she is like a descendant of him. So she is very revered. We see Toranaga regents, all of his vassals down there in the gold underneath Toranaga's name. And we'll get more into that or whatever. I'll keep on bringing this up once we need to get into it. But right now, we're just going to go ahead. I'm just trying to lay the ground.
Yes.
Okay, we're laying the ground. So so
appreciate it. It's like, ooh. Yes.
The name of the episode is called the Anjin. So what is going on is because Anjin means pilot in Japanese.
Yes.
And pilot means the first episode of a series. So
yes,
you got the two meanings, the
I like
pilot
it.
and the pilot or whatever.
Yeah.
So it is about the pilot of this new ship, and we're getting ready to go to it. So it says in Osaka, this is the opening clip that comes in. In Osaka, the reigning Taiko has died, leaving behind his heir, too young to rule. 5 warrior lords are now trapped in a bitter struggle. All of them seek the title that would make their own power absolute. See, because they ruled, they all ruled like one.
Right.
But he set it up where it has to be where we don't want a civil war. We don't
exactly
infighting. We're gonna make a council. And so I thought that that was a great idea, but maybe not so much as we get into it.
yes.
Okay, so first of all, we get shown this Caucasian, these Caucasian barbarians. They call them barbarians or whatever. So let's start out. We're gonna call them barbarians, which they actually kind of were. We kind of call them colonizers. They were trying to do the same thing, right? So we learn later on that they started out as a vassal of 500 ships, and now they're down to 1. And so I'm like, that is massive. That's massive.
Yeah, very.
So this man who is the captain of the ship with the gray hair, he is actually done with it. He's just like, he feels like it's a lost cause. I'm about to release.
They starving.
Business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they starving. So
they're starving. Like, they don't have no. You know what I'm saying? They have valuable things in that ship, but they just don't know that they're going to get somewhere soon enough in order to survive, get passage. So, but John Blackthorn, he said that we found white sand, so it looks like something is ahead. Land is ahead, but at the same time, you don't know what land is ahead. So you know what I'm saying. So the captain may still wanted to bow out because he was like, we don't have no strength, we're starving. Like, what are we gonna do? So he asks for the gun, the pow to end it all. And he told him that was a coward way to do it, but all right, there you go. And he gives it to him, and he takes care of his business. So how'd you feel about that?
Well, I'm like, he about to off himself, and I'm like,
it was bleak. It was bleak.
I guess John, he had faith. This barbarian, he has faith, and like we gonna.
And you know, the captain, he looks really old.
Oh yeah, he was hanging on by a thread.
Exactly. And I think Blackthorn just had a little bit more zest, and he had a little bit more life. Yeah, he was just like, "Nah, I'm not giving up the ghost right now." Okay, he's like, "You could do it, but I'm not going to do it."
Right. I thought everybody looked sick and off of themselves. I'm like, you better start eating them to survive. Right.
But look, they ain't even had no way to cook them though. I'm like, I mean, I guess you could. I mean, I guess they might. I ain't no raw flesh, but
I know.
But if we cook, it's like no, this way.
Right.
Okay. So this interesting guy right here, did you find out this guy with the cross? Did you find out that you think that he is the spy? You remember they said they have a spy. We're kind of going a little into it. Hopefully everybody already kind of know. But I think this guy is the spy in the village.
Yeah, he got to be. After I seen, go forward.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. Right. So this man, he's going up, and I guess he's like a peasant or whatever. He's on hard times or whatever. He goes up, he kisses his little cross, and religion is a really big thing. Yes. In this whole story. Yes. So not just the barbarians and the Japanese, not just the Japanese all against themselves. We got the Catholics and the Protestants and all of that. So it's a lot, y'all. So we're gonna be trying to keep everybody together or whatever. Yes. They see this raggedy ship that's holding on by a thread come up to land. Yeah. Of course, the army or the navy or whatever, they come out trying to protect their land to see what's going on.
Yeah.
They see what's going on, and they see that there's a lot of stuff in the ship.
Yes.
So we see probably ammunition, cannons. It might be gold in there. It might be
a lot of valuable things.
A lot of valuable things. I couldn't catch it all, but that's what it was.
Yes.
Anything before we move on? I'm gonna let you introduce the next one.
I don't even know what the next one is.
All right. Okay. So the next one is this. So we see Toranaga for the first time.
Oh, yes.
And I'm gonna let Monique do some of the talking.
When I first saw Toranaga, I'm like, why he look familiar?
Girl, he's very familiar. He's one of my favorite Japanese actors. Or
is that Scorpion?
Yeah, we got we got so many things he played.
Yeah, that's like
he played in John Wick.
Yes,
he played in
he is a well-known Japanese actor. I give it up to him.
And
but
he is magnificent in everything that he plays. The same caliber. He gives everything for me.
Yes.
So I was so happy to see him.
And he So we got Scorpion. I'm start calling him Scorpion. But what's his name? Toranaga here with his son.
Yes,
what's
his son name is Naga Kadu. Naga Kato. No. Oh, that's what I'm reading. Nagakado. Naga Kato.
Yeah.
He's such a cute little boy, though. He's so cute.
Yeah, he wanna
please his father.
Be up next, I guess, to be like take his spot and
like prove himself. You know? So definitely. So he brings him this little bird.
Okay, it's like I don't know what kind of bird that is. So
I don't know either, but
I know it means something.
We deal with a lot of birds.
Ooh,
birdies in the show. I believe this bird is something important.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. I don't know what it means.
Yes,
because in different cultures, that can be a sign or have a meaning.
Animal. That too.
Yeah,
that's it. So and they just was admiring her beauty and all of that stuff or whatever.
Yes, bonding.
Yeah. So we see this is Lord Ishido.
Yes, Ishido.
Ishido. Okay, so they are trying to get him to come to Osaka because they feel like he's doing a lot of things behind the scenes to get. He's making power plays, and they are noticing it, and they're saying that he's kind of doing things behind the scene to kind of make him rise above them, and so they want to initially kind of impeach him. So, and the reason why they are doing that is because he's taking like a lot of the high ladies, the ladies of different houses.
Yes,
and he is pairing them with his forces and his armies. When you make alliances like that through marriage and through children and stuff like that, that means something. At least in the past it did. It don't no more.
I don't think it's no more. I'm like, that shit's gonna sell, honey.
But it meant something. And so they were seeing the chess moves that he was playing, and they was like, we about to nix this in the butt.
Impeach him.
Right. Impeach him. So his general doesn't want to go with him. He's saying he hate going there. They're surprised that he even showed up because they know that he knows that that's what's about to
happen.
Right. So they get to the council. They, instead of sitting in a round table, he's sitting on the outside, and they are sitting kind of like he's on trial for something almost.
Yeah, like they on one side and they on the other side.
Yeah. So it's like, he said it's kind of different going on in here. And
because he's supposed to be part of the council.
I think you know why. I was like, oh shit.
He ain't stupid.
Right. And so we move on. And as they are saying what the council is thinking, there's this one guy who is getting super duper upset. So I'm gonna let you take this over right here.
Okay, I don't know what this guy named, but he had an outburst on what's his name? Toranaga behalf.
Yes. Because he thought that they were insulting him.
Yeah, he's his mouthpiece. He was like, he was offended.
Right,
So he was,
right.
wait a minute.
You
Hold
could
up.
see him over there just kind of like shaking. And I'm just like,
yeah, he was the only one. Everybody else was,
right. But he had to pay the cost. But go ahead.
Yeah, he stepped out of line, and then, Toranaga and what's his name? What's the other one? Ishito?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, him. Had to get him in line.
Right. He was like this, why do you think that he insulted me? And he was just like, he had to kind of play it cool because of the situation was delicate.
In front of the council or the regime.
Yes. So Ishido, he was like, this is typical of your clan. He was like, then he said he was gonna do Sepeka, and it's basically something that wipes out your family line in honor of the dishonor that you did. It's like kind of making it right so you can prevent bloodshed.
Basically, he called his people ghetto because of the outburst.
What? I was like, oh my goodness.
I'm like, okay, as we go forward, I got some words for Ishido and his people.
Right. So when Lord Toranaga checked him, he was like, I'm so sorry. He was like, maybe I misunderstood or whatever. And he said he would do this Sepeka type thing. He would get rid of himself and all who carry his name, his whole blood.
Yeah.
Baby, that is crazy.
Yeah, when he said that, I was like, that'd be the last thing I was saying.
Right.
All you getting is a sorry. I'm sorry.
How did I get apology. I'm like, Nene Leaf, how did I get in it?
My apologies, honey.
Yes. I'm like, God damn it. It is rough living back in them ages. It was so barbaric and so archaic. It was just, ew. It's like, oh yeah, I meant to tell y'all, this is the 1600s. 1600s. Yeah. So look, he's still messing with this bird. Now the bird has come back, and it's come back with a note. So he's reading the note, and that's how I ended up knowing that little guy that first saw the ship was probably the spy in the village or whatever. So he gets the bird, he reads the message or whatever, but he does realize that his general, Masu, the gray haired dude, his general.
I know who he's talking about. I was like, oh, okay.
He says that the guy who did the outburst is married to his granddaughter. So that kind of wipes out a little bit of his family line.
Yeah.
Not his granddaughter. Now she can go on and maybe remarry or reproduce with, another line. Yeah. But that baby is a part of his family line. He was just like, oh my God, I cannot believe this. He was like, he said, all this bloodshed does not make any sense.
It really doesn't.
But because he got that letter, he's sending him to another vessel, another land that's over in Japan or whatever. He was like this, I need you to go in my stead. And he was like, well, why are you staying here? And he was like, don't worry about it. I got business to take care of. You go ahead and do that for me. It's important. He don't even know why he's going. He don't know nothing. He's just showing up.
Right.
So yeah. So anything you want?
Let's take Paul. Like with the bird thing, I'm looking like somebody else. What other show used the bird? Was it Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones.
I'm like, wait, what's up with the bird? Like these messages, like.
Yes, that's why I always compared to kind of Game of Thrones or whatever, because those birds and all that stuff.
I'm like, some other show use a bird. I'm like, okay.
So this is a heavy one. Do you want to talk about it? Trigger warning, y'all. We about to get into some hot and heavy stuff, and so this is the reaction that his wife is giving from hearing the news of what he has to do.
What do you have to do, girl? I can't remember.
See, I'm all the way in 3. Explain that he had to end his bloodline.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So now we see that there's an innocent little. It looked like a 4-month, 5-month old.
I said it's like a 3-month.
Yes.
Old baby
that has to go. Now, luckily, she's safe because she's not technically his bloodline.
Right.
So she was like, "No, you think I'm gonna let you do that to my baby?" She put the blade up to her neck. She was like, "No, I will
I will end it right here."
Yes.
Okay.
And like she cannot live through that. Like she couldn't bear it. And that
what
is
mother would? Like, come
right,
on. Let's
right.
be real. What mother would
Yeah. And then
let
he
that
all
happen?
talking to her like she crazy. And uh Mariko had to be like, check him. Like, nigga, did you hear what you just told this woman?
Right. Look, he said it's. Oh yeah, I remember now. He said it's so nonchalant, like he was giving a breakfast order. I remember now. It's coming back.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Yes. I was like, she was like, this is crazy for her to hear that and to have to suffer that. She was like, maybe forget you, but her baby, So, she kind of talked the woman into it. And the woman's name is Fuji. The woman's name is Fuji.
Look, there's a lot of women. I just remember the main one.
Yeah.
2, 3. The important ones.
She was very, very, very heartbroken, Mariko, because she was just like, I can't believe I just talked that woman into that. But I mean, it was no choice. I mean, that is duty, and that's the protocol. That's what goes on, and so it's just a hard thing to kind of wrap your head around. So then we see this little character. We get introduced to this little shady character. He's a mess. He's one of my favorite characters only because he's like a wild card. If you get what I'm saying, like you really don't know what his loyalties lies, and
Is his name Yabushi?
Yes,
Yabushi, whatever.
Yep, that's his name, and he's a mess. Now this is the first time he's ever stepped foot in this village, and this village is a part of his village. But his brother ruled this village, and his brother passed away. And he said, even when your father passed away, when you're talking to the younger boy, he was like, he didn't even come to pay respects.
Pay respect, yeah.
Nothing. So this is the first time he ever stepped foot in this village. They were like, make sure you do the right things. Make sure you don't do no missteps. We got to get this thing right. So then they see the barbaric ship.
At the ship.
And they go down there and they do see that there's some people alive. Child, they look like walking zombies.
I would say the Walking Dead, baby.
Girl, no Walking Dead. They looked a hot mess. And
I'm surprised, to be honest.
Right.
Me, that it was the mini still.
Right. So the soldiers told him to come on up. And so John was the one. I guess he's taking the lead after the captain has, off himself. And he goes up there, and they have like a little barrier in a translating and stuff like that. So he doesn't know, but the way he gestured to himself and pulled on his thing and all this stuff, I'm talking about he gonna piss on y'all. And girl, you said you were gonna do what? Why he pissed on his
head?
He said, I don't speak English, but I got what you said. So let me go ahead and do that to you. That was a mess.
Golden showers, baby.
So this is Omi. Omi is the nephew to this guy. Yoshibe. So yeah, so the one down there with the bald head or whatever, like they had weird cuts. They had
I'm looking like
some of the women. I mean, some of the men look really, really feminized because they had the little ponytail.
Yes, half pony.
And this one had the whole buzz cut.
He had the middle.
What the hell is going on? I guess it's to differentiate all the different clans.
That's what I was thinking too. I'm like, why is this hair is that way and his is not? Okay.
Right. So I think that was just something that differentiate everybody. And so
terrible.
We get walking through this village, and some man walks up to them saying, is this man a Christian? Is he a Christian? And baby, Omi didn't like it. This man, he kept on trying to talk to him and trying to get information and stuff like that. And I understand that you don't want that type of interaction and stuff like that because you don't know what it's going to lead to. You don't know nothing. So, child, when I tell you 1 minute that man had his head and the next minute he didn't, I said, ooh. Gone. You see that?
Off with his head.
Off with his head.
Yeah. And they don't hesitate either. Yeah.
No, I definitely was not expecting that. So here go.
Where's the translator?
she be. I don't know. Child. He's actually. Where's? Say it again.
Yabuche.
Yabuche. Yabushiki. Okay, I'll be serious. Okay, so he comes and he's so unserious to me. It felt like he was brushing them off. It felt like he was just like, what is this foolishness? Like the translator, we're gonna get to the translator. The translator comes and he's like a priest, but everything he was saying, he was not interpreting it the way.
Wait, yeah, he was saying, yeah. I hate. Don't you just
go
hate
ahead
that?
and talk. I feel like I've been talking too much.
Yeah, he wasn't.
He was trying to get his ass killed. He called him a pirate. He's like, this man is a pirate. He's evil. Kill him. I was like, what the hell?
So he was basically there to incite violence on.
Right. And I mean, honestly, you do not know for sure. So it probably would have been in their best interest to do that, but it didn't work out like that.
I mean, if they run they stuff that way, sure, like, but everyone is different. As you see how Ishido and the other council versus Toranaga, how he approached things,
right?
How he handled people.
Because and the thing about him, I thought that he probably was going to do it because he has such a flippant attitude about it. Maybe he felt like he didn't know. He probably should make sure before he made the call.
Yeah.
I don't know. Does that sound right?
It said like 1 minute it depends on who you're in front of. He be this way, and then he really think about it after he not talk to someone else, and then he'll pause.
Right. Give a little bit of thought because he feels like a little bit of a high head, but sometimes he get a beat to think maybe.
Yeah. So we all know somebody like that, but
yeah. So then we see Toranaga, and he is actually training, talking to. This is the young heir. This is the Taiko's heir that's not yet ready to rule because he's only like 9 years old or something.
Yeah,
they say he won't be ready to rule until he's 16.
Right.
So he has to keep him safe. He gave the scouts honor. I'm a look out for this boy.
Right.
Whatever. So that's what that was. So we get to see him. This is the Taiko's first wife.
I wasn't sure. Like, is she the first one?
She's the first one. She's not.
I know the other one.
She's not the mother of that child.
Okay.
But she's the first wife that converted to a nun. So he took the second wife and he had a child through her. That's why the child is so young.
Right. Okay.
Because he had to take another wife after she went to a nun.
I wasn't sure she was his wife or not because she's in.
Right.
It threw me off a little bit.
And she knows what's going on. So from what I read, this woman right here is very important because they said that she counseled the Taiko through his reign of being, the leader, the ruler. And so she was like, in his ear, guiding him and all this stuff or whatever. So,
just like a woman.
Yeah, of course. It's all and she is begging him to become the shogun.
Yes.
She was just like, you're a good man. I understand you don't want to seek the title of your ancestors. So Toranaga comes from warriors, like people who.
Yes.
She was like, it's not the time for a good man right now. It's time for the shogun. I said, come on. I was like,
yeah, that's the ultimate rank.
Yes.
And that's the ultimate rank. So yeah.
I loved it. So instead, we have to get one person executed.
Make an example out of.
Make an example out of him. And plus, he told the priest that that's what he was going to do. He was like, we're not going to touch Blackthorn, but we'll find somebody else and we'll, okay. All right. Will that make you happy? So, child, they do it in the worst possible way.
Ooh, I don't think all the shows. I don't think I ever saw this.
Not at all.
I never saw this execution happen on any other show, if I'm not mistaken. So it was new to my eyes, and it was hard to watch and to hear the screams.
It was
until there was no screams no more. So they basically was making human gumbo.
Baby, and the way they did it,
I was surprised they cut back to it as he was. I was like,
yes, yeah.
I'm glad I wasn't eating.
Put those pictures in there, but
look, I'm glad I wasn't eating.
It was a mess. And so, you know, he was like, please, we're just merchants. He's like, you know, begging for his life or whatever. They hog tie him. They had his hands hog tied to his feet, his ankles, so his wrist to his ankles, so he could not move. They threw him in that hot boiling water, and
y'all get the visuals. It was a big pot out for. It's like it was out. It was out in a what's that call it? In the community space. It was like out in public. It was, I don't know what they call it in here.
Right.
I forgot. I could have sworn they said it once. I forgot what was the actual term is, but it was like where everybody can see and hear. It was really public.
Yeah, yeah. And also too, I thought the way they did it was so effective because they showed like the village people listening to the
story. Yes.
Like, you know, just the devastation that just came to their island, and like, oh my God, like this is about to be a whole thing. So I thought, like I said, I think the storytelling is so good, and the way they shoot it is so good. It's just so good to me. Yep. So yeah, baby. And they said they Yoshige, that guy is obsessed with death, and you know, all the way down to the man takes his last breath, and he wants to know, he wants to hear it. What's his last words? What can he say? I mean, shit, all you heard was screams.
Yeah. What he was gonna say? Let me out. Get me out. It's hot. What do you want the man to say? Like, I'm screaming and my dad like, this shit is hot. I am cooking.
Yes.
My skin is melting. It's like
right. It was
what could you say?
And the man ended up knocking himself out to pass out so he would not be in any more pain. He hit his head on the rim of the cooker.
The big old bowl. It was like, that was like a big crock pot.
Yes, and you watched him beat his head so he could just take it out, take the pain away or whatever. So it was brutal.
Yeah, it was brutal, but it was good for the show. It was different. I never saw nothing like that, so I have to give it up to them. I don't know how they shot it because that was looking very real.
Right. Absolutely. So we get to this little scene here, and I guess this is, remember how I was saying how the little, some of the Japanese ones look a little feminine because they got the bangs and they got the
high ponytail,
all and stuff like that.
They look a little feminine.
And so this woman comes in, you know, they have, I don't know, prostitute.
Yeah, they have
whatever. So
the women of the night.
The lady of the night, yeah, she comes in to be of service.
Not you bowing. Don't let me find out you the lady of the night, girl. Bowing
to be of service. And I was surprised that he didn't want to partake, but he did watch.
He was giving him a what's that called? A pay-per-view, HBO After Dark.
Right.
Cinemax or whatever you want to call it, After Dark preview show.
Like, do you want me to stop? He was like, I said, oh, okay.
And then he was eating and slurping something. It's like he was being entertained.
Right.
Like that's his way of getting off by watching.
Yeah, that was interesting.
I don't know how they do it, especially the boy or whoever she was doing it to.
Right. That was a mess. So then remember Yoshige told them to wash him up, give him a bath, clean him up.
Yeah, they had poor John Blackthorn here locked up naked. You don't know what's happening.
Wear my boots.
Right. You don't know
At
what's
least they
going
gave him
on.
some food. He had food. He tore that food up. He was like,
And one goat.
yes, it was the best. But they started to get him all together and dressed and stuff. And he was like, it's kind of tight. And they slapping his hand. And he was like, I need to see your leader again. And that's all with that scene. So it was interesting. I like the humor that they kind of play in there, like sprinkling there, kind of keep it a little.
Yeah.
Because, after that heavy moment, I felt like they picked this up a little bit.
Yeah, how you go from a gruesome death to a porn scene? And then to the barbarian being naked and he don't know what's going on, if he's gonna live or die. It was like some crazy scenes going on. Episode 1. I'm like, what?
Right. So Omi, his nephew, is asking him, you're not gonna tell Lord Toranaga, because Lord Toranaga, he has another title. I think he's like the president of foreign affairs or something like that.
Something like that. I know he deals with the foreign affairs,
So it is
will come through
to know.
Yeah.
If another ship comes. And so that's why we had the spy and all that stuff. And he does know. And he makes sure he probably got a spy in each village so he can always know, just in case somebody trying to, pull some funny business.
That's the smart thing to do, in my opinion. So
yeah, and I thought Toranaga was very, very smart in this. I mean, we're getting sprinkles of it right now, but then
as later episodes,
order stuff, we'll get into how he tries to stay at least 3 steps ahead.
Yes.
So Yoshii was sitting up there talking about Toranaga is literally trapped in Osaka. Not going to be able to get out. He know what the plans are. That's just what it is. He was like, we're going to just let it rock. We're going to let it see what it's going to do or something. He says, no need of telling a dead man, the plans. So then we see a ship arrive. And of course, this ship is none other than his general, Hiromatsu, the gray-haired guy.
Yeah.
He comes and he's like, what the hell is going on? You see how he all perplexed, like, who is this?
Right.
He gets there and he sees the general. He comes and he's like, what is going on here, sir? And he was like, oh yeah. And he was like, you honor me by coming to one of my villages. Like, you never been to the village, and there's your village now. So anyway, he was just like, he was like, what's going on with the ship? Like, we ain't heard nothing from you. What's going on? He said, the ship is here. What's going on? He told him, he was like, oh, it was going to be a surprise. First, he had kind of played it like he wasn't going to do it. He was going to confiscate what was going on. He was kind of playing both sides, and he was like, oh, I thought you serve our Lord. I thought you were loyal to our Lord. And he was like this. He drew his sword like he was about to draw his sword, and everybody behind the general started to draw their sword.
Yeah.
Like, oh, no. He was like, it's all good. Toranaga can have it. It's good. He got it. Then he tells Omi, his nephew, that there's a spy in your village. So he put that together. So I guess he ain't but so stupid.
He always was like trucking on the fence. Oh, you don't know what you don't know what's saying at this point. So I don't know.
Exactly. So we get introduced to this character named Rodriguez.
Yes.
And he is an interesting character as well.
Oh, yes.
He reminds me, if we're talking Game of Thrones, he reminds me of a Littlefinger.
Oh, yes. Yes. You put it right on the head. Yes.
He definitely like a keeper of all the secrets. He knows where the bones are buried, baby. He knows information is king. So he gets all of the information. He knows everybody. So he gets him, tries to save him. He was like, oh no, I'll take care of him. Don't worry about it. I'll get him to Osaka and all this stuff. So he's an interesting character, and I liken him to Littlefinger. So he's selling back off, and I think he's going back to Osaka, because I was surprised that he was actually on the boat with the general. So I'm like, oh, where's he escorting him to? I said maybe he's taking him to answer for the little misstep, like he wasn't going to give up the ship.
Yeah.
What all was going to happen. So this is just a little conversation with Toranaga and Mariko, and Mariko. and they had some it's pretty much exposition. He was trying to let us know how she was connected to him, and all that stuff. Like she is above, like she's a descendant of the one who was over all this stuff. So
yeah.
That's all that was.
I like her.
Yeah, I do too. She is gorgeous. She is, what is she? She's like kind of conniving. You kind of don't know how to take her, but she always says the right things. She does the right things. She's a really important character.
She be on top of it too.
I love this. Yeah.
She know when to use her womanly wow.
Yeah.
Be sensual when she talking to them.
Yes.
She know how to approach different people.
Yeah. So this scene right here was interesting, and that's why I keep on liking him to Littlefinger. Rodriguez tells Blackthorn that he knows all of his dirt. I got your tea. I got your tea. He was like, he found the book.
Yeah, I said that book.
He found the book. He found all the riches, all the everything. And he said he knows that they are pirates, and they know that they're getting ready to come there. And all the other conquests that they did
in the past,
whatever. Yeah. So he done picked up a damn, because he thought he was going to either knock him out or kill him, but nah.
He was ready. He said,
right, he pulled that hammer out. Shout out to Moochie. I was like, uh-oh. I said, ooh, John, that wasn't gonna go the way you thought it was gonna go. He was like, oh shit, he got the drop on me. So like I said, but I feel like he's always that person. He's not gonna out you. He's just putting a pin up there. Yeah, we're gonna keep that information.
And he talks shit like I like.
Right.
Talk smack.
Exactly. So then we get to the, sorry for the blurry visual, but all of a sudden, y'all, when they be on the seas, that water can get real rough. A storm could just pop out of nowhere. Everything just started going crazy, child. So they're on this boat and they're trying to, get the crew under into the swell and all that stuff. And somehow, some way, Rodriguez falls off the damn ship.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he falls off the ship. They try to go get him. There's a play here where John was trying to challenge him. Yeah, challenge the Yoshigi. I don't know. Trying to challenge him, and doing this thing, he was like, "Oh, you can't, say no with your, with your crew or whatever. You got to stand up and do it."
Yeah.
So he goes down there. However, again, those waves come crashing. First of all, he falls. The rope breaks.
Oh yeah, he was batting rocks. And
yes, then he hits the bottom. And then the waves start crashing and doing all this stuff or whatever. And he almost felt like he was about to drown. And so he didn't want to drown. So what he was getting ready to do, he was about to just take himself out. Because he wants
when he did that, I'm looking like,
I'm like, is
that your first instinct to take yourself out? What is this?
That's your first thought?
Right. I'll be forgetting during these times. That'd be like they first thought, like, well, they go out when they on a cord.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But he ends up getting saved by the crew. They work together to get more rope and get him, and they got him just in the nick of time because he was getting ready to go through with it. But they sent the help. He came back up.
And the way John was looking down at that time, it looked like he wanted him to go through with it.
Right.
Or I'm tripping.
No, I saw that too because it was the way he was looking. He was looking real smug, like he didn't have a care in the world, or he
was hoping
either way.
He was hoping like something happened. Yeah. That's what it felt like. Oh, I'm like, why is he looking like he wants this to happen to this guy?
But when he came back up and was saved or whatever, he ended up having more respect for him because he was like this. Well, he was willing to take himself out. He was willing to do the challenge. He didn't. Like, he just kind of had a little different respect. He gave him a little bow or whatever. So that was that. So we come to seppuku. Anyway, it's this woman taking one own's life, which is considered honorable. So that's why he was about to Yoshibi Yoshii, he was about to do it because they feel like that is honorable. That's their culture. Traditionally, the act consisted of stabbing oneself in the abdomen with a short sword to ensure a slow and agonizing death.
Yikes.
So yeah, this is the part. They didn't show much. The baby was crying and fussing.
Poor baby.
The mother was heartbroken.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they didn't show it.
I'm glad.
Thank you.
Yeah, I did not want to see that.
Right. So this is the end, where they get to Osaka. They get to Osaka. There was a very important line in here, and there was a couple things that I think Toranaga was saying. A man has 3 hearts. One is in his mouth, for the world to know. The other is in his chest for his friends to know. And there's one that he keeps deep, dark, and nobody knows.
Where. Yeah.
Right. It's for survival. So that was his.
When I heard that, I'm like, that's deep.
His the way he thinks, the way he go about life and stuff like that. And so I thought it was very poignant. I was like, oh wow. So then we see John arrive and he bows to him, and that is the way the episode ends.
I'm like, the way he looked at him, the way they was looking at each other. I'm like, do they know each other?
No. Nope, they didn't know each other. So
he automatically bow. So
we see this is another clue that this is the spot right here. So all this whole that dialogue where he was talking about his hearts, that man was shown again, and we see that bird again.
Yeah, so you see the bird.
That's how I ended up making that he was the spy. So it was funny that they like as we move on, they still haven't found out who the spy was. That man keep his mouth closed. You hear me?
Yeah, well, look. I will hope so. You're a spy. You want to be a good spy, right?
Right.
Not a spy to get caught.
Right. So yeah, y'all. So now y'all see why we say that this is must-see TV.
Yes.
This was the first episode. It was a great episode. It wasn't a lot of action. Not to me, it wasn't a lot of action, but it was
it wasn't a lot of combat action, but it was a lot of things moving parts.
Yeah.
They're just trying to lay the groundwork.
Right. It was very dialogue heavy, but we did have some sprinkles of, tense moments. Where we did get a couple of bodies. We got a couple of bodies.
Yes. And one was displayed for the public to hear and see. Yeah. So that was a banging first episode pilot, whatever we want to call it.
What you want to rate it?
Ooh. I rate the first
D or E.
The first episode I would give it a 8.
Me too.
I'll give it an 8.
It was a solid 8.
It was, yeah.
I was on board. I said, baby.
It definitely drew my interest.
It demanded your attention because of the subtitles. So you were locked in just for that. Anyway. Then it was just compelling. It was compelling. And I love that it's based on real live history. So I love that. So I'm locked in.
What the heck was that?
We were able to recap it in under an hour. That was great.
Yay.
Oh yes. So we're going to be cranking out episodes 2 and 3. Make sure you leave your comments, y'all. I need your comments down below in the comment section. What did you like? Who's your favorite character? Who's your favorite character right now, Monique? The person they set us up for, right?
Yes.
Toranaga.
Toranaga. Yeah, favorite. Right now.
Yes. And next is Mariko.
Yes.
So yeah. So those are my 2 favorites.
My top 2 right now. So
interesting character.
And
is Rodriguez. I think he's gonna have a lot to do going forward.
Who was Toranaga right hand man?
Oh yeah, I like him too.
Yeah, the gray guy. Like, yeah, I like him. I really, yeah, he's my next one. He's like my top. He's the third one. Yeah.
And I do like the nun lady because she gave my favorite line. She was like, "We need the Shogun, baby." So it felt like it was giving me some foreshadowing. It gave me. I was like, just yes. I don't know. It was that line did it for me. So I don't know.
So if you have not watched this show, it's a must see.
Must see.
If you like Game of Thrones, you like, what's the other show?
House of the Dragon.
House of the Dragon. Give this a chance, okay? I know there's some you got to do a little reading, but it's okay. But it's not all in a foreign language. They also have English mixed in it as well. So it's very entertaining. It will draw you in. There's a lot of moving parts that will catch your eye.
Yep. I agree. And this is gonna be, we got 10 episodes, y'all. Got 10 episodes. So,
and this is on what again? Hulu?
This is on FX, but I'm watching on Hulu. It comes on Tuesdays. It drops Tuesdays on Hulu. But if you got cable, it's on FX or whatever streaming platform you watch. It's FX Network.
Right.
But FX been giving some bangers, like
they mix it up. They the network that mix it up, that does the non-norm, as you you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Because I like Fargo. I watched Fargo. Fargo was fantastic.
Yeah, it's a good show.
It was a good show. They have like good stuff. Remember, they had Atlanta on there. You know, they had
Mayans, they had Son of Anarchy, and what's the other one?
Yeah, all of the American horror stories.
Horror stories, yeah.
They got The Bear. Like
that's my show. Can't wait.
Right. They are producing great content. And
they
their most expensive one that they said.
Say what?
And I think it's gonna pay off. This is their most expensive show.
Oh, okay. Look, he was looking like, okay.
Yes, I love it. But we will be back for episode 2. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Make sure you join us down in the comments. We will be getting a live show soon. We got to out offline what day we're going to do that and time slot, and we will announce it once we get episode 3 up. So we're going to do 4 live. Okay. So yes, y'all, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.